Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Very Connected podcast. And excited to have you guys all here. We have a little bit of technical slowing here on my end. Hopefully, Henry's end is looking good, but hopefully, the audio is good enough for you to hear me, though. We are going to be talking about a fun topic today. It's called the protein flip. Henry has developed this. He's actually been working, I feel like, years on this
It's been a
topic.
long time.
And yes, and I'm so excited to finally see it come to fruition and learn more about it. I met Henry. It's probably, I'm going to say, going on maybe 4 or 5 years. It feels like it's
Yeah.
been a long time. And we have been at numerous events together. I'm going to say 4 or 5 events and got to spend a lot of time together. And guys, you guys are going to just fall in love with Henry and also with what he has to say. Um, Henry, you guys, is um how can I start? I'm gonna just say you're a classically trained chef with more than 20 years of experience in professional kitchens, catering, private parties, cooking classes. Henry's also had weight loss surgery. So he
Yes.
understands from a standpoint of, the whole bariatric surgery world, along with knowing what patients were subjected to eat post bariatric surgery, and also those on a GLP-1 journey. We want to include you in on this conversation because Henry's been well versed in that. He has had a 140-pound weight loss himself. And Henry, I'm just so proud of you because you have done the work in keeping your own weight down. And actually, each time I see you, it feels like you're even a little less than what I saw before. Just very proud of you with your own story. Say hello to everybody.
Hello, everybody. I am Chef Henry, and I am here. Happy to be here. Um,
Um,
so yeah, it's almost 6 years that I had my surgery, and I'm, down 140 pounds, and through, obviously staying active and, my business of cooking and sharing healthy recipes, it helps me stay, you know, keep the weight down, keep the energy up, and keep going, moving forward with everything else. So it's something just super happy to be here.
Um, Tell us, like, I feel like this whole journey with you of bringing all of this cooking passion to the forefront, along with your own journey, kind of where that started.
So yeah, like you said, I went to culinary school like over 20 years ago, and it was always cooking in the kitchen, whatever, but I was almost 400 pounds, and I just didn't have the confidence that what I was cooking was good, and didn't want to share it with people. And it's just hard when you're like that big, and you have a lot of, hard, just like inner stuff that's just, eating at you. So I had my surgery, and once I started losing weight and started gaining confidence in me and my abilities and everything that I do, and I just decided that, because I had to reconstruct what I ate, how I ate, when I ate. I started to create healthier recipes, that were portion smart. But you had to get all your nutrients in. We all have that thing where it's like we have to get everything in, but it's so hard because we can only eat so much at a time. And so it's just like, okay, how can I rediscover everything, figure everything out? And from that point, this is like maybe 4 years ago, I started to create these healthier recipes and, portion smart, like I said, but still have everything that you need in there to keep going, going, moving forward, along with your vitamins, your minerals, and all that kind of stuff, and being active. It's all part of the bigger picture.
And we have done events together before, whereas you shared recipes. So I will be kind of talking about that. Basically, ProCare has a YouTube channel, guys, and it's just ProCare Health, vitamins and supplements, and it's linked to YouTube. And we have over 500 videos on there now. Henry, I think we've done at least maybe 3 events together,
Yeah.
and I feel like those recordings are on that. So if you go to a ProCare's YouTube channel, you can definitely find it there. I would show you guys, but I'm afraid if I do anything with my screen, it's going to be a little bit more freezing. So I'm going to just allow Henry to talk. And he does have a presentation, guys, for you that he's going to share more about this protein flip. Where did this idea come from, the protein flip?
Okay, so here's the deal. So I basically, like I said, I started cooking healthier meals and whatever, and it's just like one of those things where you have to have high protein and high fiber and being portion smart about everything. And it's just one of those things where it's just like, I could put a cookbook out there, and I have a couple of other cookbooks of just like, 15, 20 recipes, and they're just basic cookbooks, but this was something that I'm like, I need to sit down and actually like write a book about what I'm actually doing, giving it a name, giving it a structure, giving it a method that people can take into their own kitchens and create, basically do the same thing I'm doing, but making it easier for them, basically giving them a plan of how to do this, how to get started, why it's so good for you, what are the benefits. And then just it started off like it was like going to be a 70-page book with 30 recipes, and then 70 pages became 90 pages, became 105 pages, and now it's 155 pages because there's so much information there. There's so much like, why is it so good for you? The benefits, the insulin impact, the weight impact, the energy impact, everything that impacts who you are and your lifestyle that you're working for. Because a lot of people, like, they'll gain a bunch of weight. I mean, they'll lose a bunch of weight, and then after that 4 or 5 year period, whatever, like that regain starts to happen. And my biggest thing is like, it was always not just for me, but for everybody else, is like, how do we basically flip the script on the regain? Let's not do it. Let's figure out how to do it the right way. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times you go to like conferences, and they'll say, here's your mindset stuff and here's your emotional stuff, but no one really, really, really addresses the food part. Because if you can talk to a dietitian, and a dietitian is going to say, eat this, eat this, eat this, but they're not going to tell you how to do it, proportions do it, and how to substitute things out, and how to do it without being on a diet all the time, because the diets don't work. They just you do it for a while and you're like, I'm done with this. I can't eat this, I can't eat that. But why? Why can't you eat everything if you do it within reason? So that's how this whole thing came about. It's like, okay, let's figure out how we can eat what we want to eat, but do it in a smart way so we can, because with our situation, well, it's GLP-1 or bariatric surgery, everything that we put in your body has to have a purpose, has to have a reason for being in there, for the nutrients, for your protein and for your fiber. So let's take what we have, what we can do, and basically give everything a purpose together, so it can work all together, so we have longevity and we can keep the weight off for our entire lives, for us and for our family, for our health. So that's how this whole thing came about. So I sat down, I started this book. It's been about almost a year now, and it's just been so, like, just put heads down, keep going, keep going, keep going. And finally I got it done at the beginning of the year, towards the beginning of the year, I guess, like, later, like, just a few months ago. And now it's ready, and it's ready for you guys to see, to go to my website to purchase. My website's new website's whole revamped too. But this is something that I'm really excited to share with everybody for sure.
And you guys, he actually has a really amazing free gift for you too. Which, if you stay with us for a little while, we'll be sharing that. It is a downloadable PDF. Do you want to talk about that, Henry? What's to come with that?
Yeah, so what I did was, so on my website I have, obviously, my cookbook. I have, my other cookbooks too, but I also have quick guides for, how to, like, check your grocery list. Like, check, it's not just a grocery list of here's what I need, but it's like you go to your grocery store and you make sure that everything in your cart is what you need for that week or for that meal or for whatever. It's a really good stuff. But the one I put together for you guys, and this is on my website, but and it's like, $8.99, but you guys can have it for free, for being here, is basically the Protein Flip GLP-1 Bariatric Success Guide. And this is where this guide is going to get you started. This is going to get you excited, because once you start reading, and once I talk about it and you start reading it, you're going to say, this makes sense. This is what's going to happen, because this is what it's one of those things where it's just like, I'm so excited that someone has addressed this situation because I feel like it's going to make a big impact. And there's a few things that I wanted to point out, in that and we touch on the presentation that we'll be doing, we'll touch on one of the things and that's in the quick guide, but it's not in the presentation, but because I didn't get it, I didn't make the presentation. We'll talk about that later. Anyway, it's a 16-page quick guide of why everything is good, why, basically why GLP-1s and bariatric people need to eat this way, how it affects them, you know, when once you start, fading off the GLP-1s, or once you're like 5, 6, 7 years down the road after bariatric surgery and you want to like not do the regain thing, this is how you're going to do it. There's templates, there's ways to do it. There's all, I mean, the cookbook itself has a lot of good stuff. It's got like sauces and it's got flavors, flavor finishers, and blends and spices, and everything's all explained to you. But this quick guide is something that's going to get you started for sure. And I feel like you guys can be really, really excited to see this. And I'm always accessible. If you guys read this and you're like, oh my God, I love this, like whatever, or I have questions, like you guys will always be able to contact me, either email or text me, whatever kind of thing, because I'm always accessible because I'm excited to get you guys started and see you guys get excited for it too, for sure.
Henry, should I wait to share the giveaway or should I go ahead and share that now?
No, you can do it now. It's ready. It's ready. You guys can have it. And go ahead and do that. You guys can download it, read it, whatever. At the end, you'll see that I have coaching sessions that are available. So if you're like, I really want to do this, I don't know how to start it, or whatever kind of thing, you can always sign up for a coaching session. We could sit down, we could talk about like, how to get things started, whatever kind of thing. But we'll address that way at the end. About what my service is, what I have to offer you guys. So yeah, for sure. But definitely share it now.
So Henry's website is Chef Henry. Was
Chef
it
Healthy Henry.
chefhenry.com? Chefhealthyhenry.com.
Yeah.
The free giveaway, if you're listening on the live event, I put it in the chat box for the free giveaway. It's the Protein Flip GLP-1 plus Bariatric Success Guide, which will give you information on his book, his coaching, and all of that too as well. But if you're wanting the actual book itself, like going directly to that, we'll talk more about that. Henry, the links for that is in the giveaway, but they can also access the book on your website, correct?
Yes, for sure. The website is, I mean, everything's on there. You go to the storefront, everything that you might want. Like, I mean, there's an eating out guide, there's a grocery guide, there's a how to get started guide, and then there's the book, whatever kind of thing. And then because my website is pretty much brand new. The coaching services hasn't been added there yet, but always contact me, email me, and we can work it out. As far as if you guys want to sign up for that, and then probably by next week we'll have the coaching services onto the shop onto the website in the storefront, so you guys can sign up in it, with Calendly and all that kind of thing down, next week. So yeah.
So by coaching, you're talking here how to teach people how to make foods in their own kitchen.
Yeah, so the thing is that I'm not a dietitian and I'm not, a scientist or whatever kind of thing. And the thing is that this is a chef's perspective on how to eat a healthy lifestyle. There's no macros, there's no keeping track or anything. You don't have to measure everything. All you have to do is look at your plate and say, this is ready. I'm ready to eat it. This is where, and I will explain to you and teach you how to say, where it's at. And we're going to talk through this, talk about a little bit about in the presentation, but it's going to be the mindset of how to see the plate and how to, and how to like build a plate, how to see it, how to verify it, and then also how to eat it. And so that it's more of a fun, interactive thing, and it's less about like, oh, I need numbers, I need numbers, I need numbers. My dietitian says I have to have 80 grams of protein, I have to have all this water, I have to have all this whatever kind of stuff. Like, throw that stuff out the window. We're gonna cook. That's what I do. I want to help people learn how to cook the right way. And from beginning, like, the biggest part that I had to make sure I was in here was that there are people that don't know how to cook and don't want to cook, but they want to eat healthy. Well, I've got a plan for you. And there are people that want to cook, on a Sunday meal for their families, and they want to actually spend time with that. And there's a plan there for you too. So it's all encompassing for everybody. So yeah, for sure.
So let's get started, Henry, because I know time-wise we've been just chatting and
Oh yeah. Okay,
I
this is
love it. I love that you've talked more about this so people know what to expect.
yeah, I feel I get so excited talking about this. Just because this is obviously this is what I do. This is what I'm passionate about. This is what I enjoy doing. So, okay. So do you guys see this presentation here?
It was popping on here a second ago. Let's give it a second again. The screen is black right now. Here we go. We got it.
I was pulled out to the wrong screen. Okay. So here's where we're start. Here's where it's what it's all about. Okay. Um, the protein flip is about redesigning our plate. Now when I was little, and then we've all been taught like, okay, you have your protein, you have your chicken, and that's your protein. Everything else is basically a side thing. So you have your chicken, you might have some watered down broccoli, and you have a rice, and that's your dinner. That's how you've always eaten. The thing is that the reason this is wrong is because it's harder to digest that chicken, and B, it's better for your planet because you're not eating all this animal protein. What we're doing is we're taking a plate and we're going to disperse our protein among the entire plate. So everything has its responsibility. So we're going to reduce our chicken from 8 ounces to let's say 4 ounces. Then we're going to add something that's got a lot of protein in it, like let's say, for example, some black beans. We're going to add that in there. But then we have our fiber. Fiber is so important. We have our vegetables, we have our greens, and so okay. So then we have the main part of the plate. But the part that really keeps people going is not just the the main part, but it's also the we have the flavors. The flavors. So basically, you're adding little accents here, little accents there, whether it's seeds or nuts or a little bit of dairy, things like that. That's going to make the flavor so much better for you. You're going to be like, oh, this really is good. I can eat this chicken and not feel like I'm bored with this. And so that's the thing. So the protein flip is built on basically like four pillars. So obviously we need to have lots of protein, lots of balanced protein, but it's balanced protein. It's not just like I said, it's not just a piece of fish. It's like a piece of fish with some black rice and some vegetables, and everything works together to make this happen. So it's balanced protein. And then we have fiber. Obviously, fiber helps with our digestion. Fiber helps with our satiety, and it helps with keeping us in balance with our gut health. And then the other thing is that we don't subtract, we add everything. We add things to our meals. So instead of saying, my doctor says or my dietitian says I can't eat pasta. Well, here's the deal. You can eat pasta, you just don't have to eat a whole bunch of pasta. It's just enough to keep you happy, keep you satisfied. And the other thing is that, and well, this will be the next slide, but we'll get to that in a second. So we talked about flavor. Flavor is super important. That's what's going to keep you going. That's what's going to keep this everything going. I have in the book, we have templates of how to do it, whether you're a vegetarian, you want to eat meat, you want to eat all their everything, whatever. It's all part of that. It's all part of the same ecosystem. And then what I did is I had to, because I wanted to do, so this is all I just explained, the fiber, the balance, and you guys can have these slides, like, Brenda, you can send them these slides, right? Or you can offer that to them.
Yes, I will. You guys, I'll put the link for the slides in the chat feature. If you guys are listening to a replay, you'll have access to the giveaway that I shared earlier in the notes of the details of the support group, details of in the description, and alongside the link to this as well, which is the presentation. So
Yeah,
yes.
definitely, because this is pretty important too. So the other thing was like, okay, so this is we talked about, adding, subtracting, and flavors. Okay, so but I wanted to get to the carbs, the better carbs. So this is where this would be to me, if I were to pick another one more pillar, I would pick the better carbs. Obviously, it's like this is instead of it's a complex carbs versus the simple carbs. It's the beans and lentils, the farro, the sweet potatoes, the oats and quinoa. Those are the kind of things that are going to they're high in fiber, they're high in protein, they have lots of nutrients in them, and they're really good for you. But these are the things that are going to say, I can add a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and not feel like I'm missing out on anything. These are the things that are going to keep you going and keep you satisfied. And because we can only eat a little bit at a time, and we have to be portion smart about everything. But because you have these better carbs and you have the fiber, it's going to keep you going. So like sometimes if like in the past, when I first started, I would eat my protein and I'm like, I'm still hungry, in a couple hours. Now, because I'm eating this way, I'm not as hungry anymore because I'm basically like I'm satisfied until my next meal because I have the fiber, I have these good complex carbs that's helping me slowly digest everything that I need, all the nutrients, so I get the full benefit of everything. So again, this is a method. This is not a diet. This is something that you are going to embrace, something that you're going to say, I really enjoy this. I want to know how to do this. There are, like I said, there are templates in the book. There are flavor enhancers. I have like, I think there's like 7 different sauces, like simple sauces that you can just put together yourself. Like you don't have to learn how to cook to do this stuff. So a lot of that stuff is super important and it keeps you going, keeps you going. And again, there's um, for GLP-1 and bariatric patients, we have similar, but we have different things that we have to work around. So this slide here, this presentation will give you the differences and then the similarities, so you can like put yourself in wherever you're at. Because some people are doing one or the other, and some are doing both. So this will help everybody basically. Um, so we go back to our flavor and we do our practical shift. So basically the way we do, we start off with our base, which is our main plant protein, either a plant protein or we have our, a combination of animal and plant protein. We basically create the base of the plate, like I was saying. And then we add our aromatics, which is garlic, ginger, blah, 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 all this good stuff, all our herbs, within the cooking process, of course. And then we have texture. Texture is what keeps you excited. The crunch, the substance, crunch, or the substance of what the meal is all about. Add those little toasted nuts. Add those little chickpeas. You can like add them raw. You can roast them, whatever. But those are things that's going to keep me excited. And then of course we add in our citrus juices, our vinegars, and fresh herbs. To finish it off, like our garnishes. The garnishes are going to really be big accents. And this is what's really these, like I said, the texture, the acid, and the brightness, all this is covered in the book. Very with lots of good like ingredients, lots of good like combinations, and just it's all done for you, so you don't have to even think about it when you first started. So then we have quick sauces. We have quick sauce. Like I said, I think I have like 7 quick sauces in the book that's available to you. But right here, this is example: tahini, lemon, and garlic. That's a quick sauce. That's easy. You throw that on a piece of chicken or a piece of fish, and you're done basically. If you just learning how to cook or you don't want to cook but you want to eat healthy, this is the kind of stuff that you can do. You want to eat something Asian, you got soy sauce, sesame oil, and fresh ginger. That's it. Three ingredients. You throw it on a piece of, like I said, a piece of fish or whatever, and you're basically done. So all of these quick sauces with 3 ingredients, you guys can like take that. But again, in the book, there's way more. All right, let's see here. Oh, ugh, sorry, I'm slowing down now. Why is my guy now? Oh, no. All right, I think I'm freezing. My presentation's freezing up now. Oh, here we go. Okay, back into it. Okay. So let's go back down to, we covered all this, and this is all a quick over glance of what it's about. I mean, obviously we can do Q&A and talk about what else is there. So here's some things you can do tonight. Again, swap out beans for rice as your base. Replace a bottle dressing and make one of those quick sauces, a 3 ingredient sauces, and throw away the bottle dressing. You could add, boiled eggs. You can add some cottage cheese as your secondary protein, because in the book it's going to explain to you there's a primary protein and secondary protein, and then there's dairy protein. So there's 3 different types of proteins that you can work with, and gives you lots of variety, gives you a lot of ways to be adventurous about your cooking. So that's really going to be good. And then if your finishes, like say your garnishes, your herbs, your Parmesan cheeses and things like that. And then of course we have our GLP-1 users like by, how they can get the benefits, and then bariatric patients, how they get the benefits also too. And I broke this out down for everybody. Um, so, yeah, but I wanted to, okay, so what to remember is basically a recap of what we just talked about, the four pillars, the plant forward, not plant only. And, because we don't want to, the idea of the whole protein flip is everything's got to be positive. Everything's got to be a way of saying, like, this is a positive thing in my life. This is a positive lifestyle. We don't want to say don't do this and don't do that, because once you start doing that, you start limiting everything that you're doing, and then you take things away, and then you start craving that stuff, and that's where what we want to get away from. So this is now we just basically get down to the base. We're done with the presentation. But the one thing I did want to address, so I talked about, so we have our plan A and a plan B. Now, plan A is we all cook. Everybody loves cooking. Everybody's great at cooking, and we cook everything, right? So that's plan A. But we want to get to plan A. Plan B, most of us are going to start with plan B. Plan B is always like, oh, the second one, right? But today we're doing plan B is like, okay, let's go to the store and get pre-made chicken, already cooked chicken. Let's go to the store and get like vegetables that are already chopped up. So I don't have to do all the work in the beginning. I just have to learn how to create this template. I don't have to do all the work. I just put everything together. And once you start doing that and get some pre-cut chicken and some pre-cut vegetables and put those in a pan and sautés up with some garlic and eat that, then that's a healthy meal for you. Now, once you start saying, okay, I want to do more, I want to take more control of what I'm doing. I want to add something. So, okay, let's say we, instead of getting the pre-made, like in the pre-chopped up, let's say carrots. Well, let's learn how to chop carrots. Okay, so that's how you start. You start going from the bridge from B to A. You start doing some of the cooking yourself, and as you get going and getting more confident and learning more about the actual cooking process, you're going to graduate from plan B to plan A. And that's the super important thing, because that's what to me, that's what tells you, that is what tells you that you can start from the beginning, not knowing how to cook, not knowing how to do anything, and you can get to, to a better, being a good cook. Or if you're already a good cook and you just want to go to plan A, then you're already set. So everybody's accounted for, everybody's happy. And like I said, I'm here for coaching to help you get through the mind part of cooking, the mind part of eating, the mind part of, like, why are we doing this? Why did we have our surgery, or why are we on the shots? What is the purpose? What is it? What is the big picture of what we're doing? And at the same time, what are we going to do about not regaining once we're either down the road or we get off the shots? What are we going to do about that? To me, that is the biggest thing, because I mean, I see the regain all the time, and I'm just like, I can't. I see people on social media with the regain, and I'm just like, okay, I can help everybody. They just need to know that I'm here, and that's basically where we're at. So, that's so let's. I'm gonna stop sharing here, and we can go back to.
Henry, what might be some recipes? Nancy had asked about, are you going to share recipes? I think that a lot of, like, from what I've seen, you have a ton of recipes on your website alongside this book. Like, if you're wanting just to experience what some of those are like, what would you say the book focuses on? Like, what kind of recipes can they
So the book
access?
itself, okay. So first of all, my website has like at least 200 recipes on it. They're easy, like Tuesday night meals, or they're like something that you can make for a Sunday night for your dinner, for your family or for friends, or whatever kind of thing. So you just go to my website, chefhealthyhenry.com, and there's a filter there. There's search buttons. There's all that kind of stuff, that find the recipes that you like, see what it's all about. Sign up for my newsletter, ask me questions, the whole big thing. The book itself isn't broken down into like, here's a meat, here's seafood, whatever. There is like like a seafood section, there's a vegetarian section, but there's also like an international section. So there is more, like, I enjoy bringing recipes together that are more adventurous. And so there's going to be, you know, recipes are going to be like Italian and Japanese and, Mexican and French and things like that. So there's going to be a lot of different types of stuff, but all you have to do is go to the website, go to recipes, filter for what you're looking for. If you're looking for a chicken recipe, you'll see all the chicken recipes. If you want a protein flip recipe, they're all listed there too. If you want, whatever you're looking for broccoli, search broccoli, whatever broccoli is in it will show up too, for sure. Yeah. And I would love to show, I didn't want to bring recipes today just because I wanted to talk about the protein flip today. And we didn't have time for everything. So
Just a lot. So the thing is, guys, is if you go to his website, you're going to get a taste of all the different things that he has prepared in the past and kind of get a taste of those things. If you purchase the book, it's kind of all in one place where you can easily page through and you can find things specifically for what maybe you're looking for Italian, for Mexican. Is that what you're saying, Henry?
yeah, I'm saying, yeah, for sure. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. And also on my website as all my blogs of like the science, not just the science, but also the, psychological of like why we cook and how we cook and what it's all about and stuff like that. So I just want to throw that in there. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
And guys, I have purchased his recipe book and I've actually been using it, Henry. I have never shared this with you, but I've made quite a few of the recipes now. I'm loving it. I especially like the Mexican ones. I feel like you
Yeah.
have that down.
Yeah. Yeah. So the book itself, so the Protein Flip book itself has 30 recipes in it, and most of them are on the website, some are not. But it's really more about the method. It's like here's why I created it, here's how it came about, here are the benefits, and here's how to actually do it in practice. And then here's the 30 recipes, and at the end, the end is like the most important thing because the end is going to give you your flavor and confidence stuff. Is like I said, it's going to have the flavor blends. It's going to have this international spices section. It's going to have the flavor finishers, the garnishes, and things like that. The sauces. It's going to have just like a list of proteins and fibers and their the grams that they have. So it's easy for you guys just to pick up and go kind of thing. And then, like I said, I'm here to help you guys for sure to keep going, to get started and to feel good about what this is all about. Like I said, we're not doing a diet. We're changing our life with food, natural foods, good foods. And I can tell you, I can guarantee you, two of the things I always get when I talk about food. One is the people say that it's too expensive to cook for myself. And have you gone out? It's super expensive to go out these days. But secondly, it's not, it's to get natural foods, especially now we go to the farmer's market, you bring it home, you cook it, you know it's in your food, it's so much healthier for you, and you know exactly what you're eating. There's no hidden sauces, no hidden salts or sugars and things like that. You know what you're cooking. And the other thing I always get is like, I don't have time. Time is a big thing. And yeah, time is a big thing, especially if we have families. I understand that I have a daughter, she's 24, but she's a great cook because when she was little, I taught her how to cook. I brought her in the kitchen. I said, okay, start by mixing this, start by doing this, start by doing that. And before you knew it, she was basically doing a lot of the cooking herself. So bring the kids in the kitchen. That's one of the biggest things of the my biggest passions is get your kids cooking as soon as possible because they want to be with you. They want to do what mom and dad does. So if you're cooking, they want to be in the kitchen with you and do that. And to steer them in that direction and away from like, I'm cooking, so get on your iPad thing. Steer them into the kitchen with you. It's so important. And the easiest way, I always tell people, especially now because it's summer, take them to the farmer's market. Show them how to pick out a tomato, show them how fun it is, and let them learn how to pick out that tomato next time or whatever. Then bring that food home, show them how you cook it, and show you how to eat it. Show them the whole entire process so they can have so they can see what it's all about, and they can have some investment in that meal when they actually eat it. So that's super important for me. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah. So yeah, I'm just looking at the comments, but yes, the thing is to me, cooking is my life. Obviously, I do it all the time and I just enjoy it. But sharing it with you guys and sharing it with just people and seeing, getting the feedback of people saying, I started doing this like Brenda. I started doing this, I really like it. And then I get people like social media telling me all the time how much how they feel better, how they lose weight, how they're really excited about, what I'm doing and all that kind of thing. That's what makes things, when I'm in the kitchen, like my wife goes to work in the morning and I get out all my stuff, I get all my recipes out, get all my food out, get all my prep out. Then I set up all my 5 cameras and then I have to cook everything. And then before she comes home, I have to take everything down and have to put, whatever. And it's a lot of work. I mean, to bring these videos to you guys. But the thing that makes it worth it is the fact that I'm learning how to, grow myself, not just with the filming, but also with the cooking, but then I can share it with you guys. And so when I get the feedback of how you guys, basically like get the get on board with what I'm trying to put out there, it really makes me feel happy. Yeah. Let's see. The simple ones are easy. I mean, the simple ones are always good because they're Tuesday night meals. You can do them if you have a family. If you have a family of 4 or 5, whatever, you can do a simple recipe and also meal prep. Meal prep super important too for all of us. So the simple ones are easy for meal prep for our families. You can do it like Tuesday night. Doesn't take a long time. And part of the coaching process that is that I can help you set up your kitchen for success. I can show you how to take a recipe that's a 45-minute recipe and reduce that time to 30 minutes just by making sure everything's in its place and basically organizing your kitchen and set for success. So I feel like that's a big part of the time thing too, is like I can teach you how to be like what ingredients to cut together and put together and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's part of the whole process.
Looking to see here.
And then the other thing is, okay, so my friend Laura here says she says she hates cooking. Um, I get a lot of that. People are like, "You'll never get me in the kitchen," blah blah blah. The thing is that you may or may not enjoy cooking, and that's what the plan B is like. Go to your local market, whether it's a healthful market or the Trader Joe's or whatever kind of thing, and get the pre-cut stuff, get the pre-made stuff, and just put it in a pan and put it together. It's not really cooking; it's just basically putting everything together and see how you can do that. The other thing is I always tell people is when you're first starting, bring your comforts in the kitchen. If you like flowers, if you like music, if you like, if you like a glass of wine or whatever you enjoy, it's your personal, like, I love this. This really makes me feel happy. Bring it in the kitchen, and then you're really then once you're comfortable in the kitchen because all you have your comforts in there, then you can start like, okay, now let's like pick up a knife and start cutting a carrot or whatever kind of thing. But always like bring something that makes you feel good into the kitchen with you so you have something that you're familiar with, makes you feel comfortable, and makes you smile while you're doing it. So yeah.
And I want to say, I do like what you just said, Henry, because I do think being comfortable is a big thing. And I think like maybe if it's easier to start with chicken recipes, for example, like if chicken is your favorite go-to, start with recipes and focus on one thing where maybe you have 3 or 4 variants from chicken. Like maybe you put it with rice, or maybe you put it with sweet potatoes, or maybe you put it with and I think your book
Yeah.
kind of goes into that a little bit where you have certain staples, but then you're adding like these little bits of sauces or the little bits of herbs or to make it a little different.
Yeah, and the thing is, like I said, like even with these quick sauces that I showed you guys that with the slides that you guys are going to get, like chicken, like on Monday you can have like a Mediterranean with the tahini, lemon, and garlic, but then the next day you can have like an Asian one where you got the soy sauce, the sesame oil, and the fresh ginger, and then the next day you'll have more of an herby one, and so you'll have it like let's say Greek yogurt, some lemon, and some fresh herbs. Like it's chicken, but it's 4 different ways all week that is going to make it change the flavors. And one day you could put like Parmesan cheese as your garnish, and one day you could put like just like I said a dollop of yogurt as your garnish or whatever. But it's the whole idea is to get you to think about what do I actually like as far as food, like what do I find delicious, and how can I take that and put it into a meal that actually is going to make me excited to do it every day, like basically forever, because this is what's going to keep us going. This is what's going to keep the weight from regaining. And the thing is that for me, it's always been like I know that we address the emotional, and I know that we address the psychological part of weight loss, whether bariatric surgery or GLP-1, but we really don't do the cooking and the eating and the food justice. Yeah, we have dietitians that say, here's what you should do, and here's what you need to do this, whatever, but they're not going to tell you how because they don't because like I can't tell you the macros. They can't tell you how to actually cook, and I can. So to me, that's it's ironic because the food part is for me, the food part is how I gained the weight because I wasn't eating good and I wasn't doing good, and it's psychological and the whole big thing. But the food part is what actually is going to keep you going forever, as far as like keeping the weight, not regaining.
It looks like there's actually a question that came back in, and Laura says, "Can I make healthy sweet potato fries?"
Yes, you can. I mean, I do it all the time. I mean, the thing is, I mean, obviously, if I air fryers are so awesome, but you can also throw them in the oven. I throw them in the oven all the time. You put them, you cut them, you slice them, whatever. You throw some rosemary on them, some salt in there. You throw them in the oven or an air fryer kind of stuff. You don't have to fry them all the time, but they are very good. Now, like with some of the stuff, like even with regular potato fries, whatever, like they're not gonna last 5 days, but they're not gonna be crunchy for 5 days. But you can get a good meal out of that, and they'll last a couple of two, 3 different days for meal prep and stuff like that. And then you can eat them for and you can repurpose them with your eggs in the morning. Like I'll make some sweet potatoes, and then the next morning my wife will make some eggs and throw some sweet potatoes in there, and she's got a balanced meal. She's got her fiber, she's got her protein, she's got her nutrients, and she takes that and she'll take that to work with her. And so it's one of those things that you could definitely do it. But again, contact me if there's something. And there's the other thing, I always do. Recipe makeovers. Send me a recipe. I will make it over, whether it's like my grandma's, traditional, whatever, or I recently eat this. Like for me, like my biggest example is I'm Mexican. I grew up eating Mexican food all my life, and I love Mexican rice. But I found a way to make it super healthy for you. And I've had other Mexican women, mothers and grandmothers eat it, and they swear by it too. And I think that recipe is either in the book, but it's definitely on my recipe on my website. But it's so good for you. But I find ways to take recipes that you guys really like, redo them, and make them the exact, with the exact same texture, the flavor, everything's really good for you. So send me those recipes. I'll be happy to redo them for you guys for sure.
Comments. Nice. We need to marry a chef. I 100% agree with that.
Yeah, I think that part of the thing is like, I know that, people that work in restaurants are like, oh my God, when I go home, I don't want to cook ever again. But the thing is, the biggest thing for me is like, is the best part for what I do is that what I do is I don't like when you go to work in a restaurant, you're like basically like doing the exact same thing for 10 hours all the time, whether it's doing the soup or cutting the vegetables, you're doing the exact same thing. For me, I am using my creativity to create new recipes every day. So that keeps everything exciting for me.
I like new things too. I feel like that kind of brings a little bit of adventure. Even like you said, sweet potatoes. Like there's probably 10 different ways you can make a sweet potato,
Yeah.
and sometimes it's just investing the time and interest. Like if there's one food that you really like I said, chicken, or maybe it's a certain type
Hmm.
of starch or quinoa or whatever it is. Invest your time and like look up recipes for that so to simplify it. So you're not having to buy 20 different items. So
Yeah, and
um
and then if you decide that I want to try, I want to see what like something like quinoa or farro is all about. Like, I mean, then go ahead and try it because I have recipes for you for sure. And the other thing I was going to say is that um, if I have a recipe on my website and it's got quinoa in there and you don't like quinoa, the beauty of the protein flip is that is the swaps. You swap it out. If you don't like quinoa, if you like black beans, swap it out. One for one, it's not a big deal. And that's another another page in the cookbook is like, here's how you do swaps. Swaps are super easy. You don't eliminate something, you bring something you like in to replace what you don't like.
Henry, do you have anything to say to this? Brittany says, I'm only 4 weeks post-op and I am so nervous about when it's time to reintroduce any starches.
So yeah, I mean, the reintroducing starches is the biggest thing is to obviously to do it slowly and to do it in the right way. But you have to listen to your body because the dietitians are gonna say, don't do it till these many weeks, this many months, you do this or you do that, whatever. But the thing is that you have to listen to your body. If your body says, I'm not ready for it, then put it off for another couple of weeks. And just try to go slowly. Um, and yeah, like I mean, I guess the thing is like, what scares you about it? Is it because you feel like you're going to be on the road to like regain because like that's what you're used to or that's what you're told? I mean, I'm trying to understand so I can give you a better explanation. But to me, I feel like the biggest thing is start off slowly. Try to start off something that's like, just simple. Like I would say, like brown rice. Like black rice would be a little hard right now because it's a little tougher, a little more fibrous. Brown rice is a little easier or cauliflower rice will help you with the address with the transition better too. And then yes, but the thing is, again, we're looking at the complex starches, not the simple starches like the white rices and stuff like that, because that stuff just sits in your gut. That stuff is going to say, it's just going to basically like fill you up and sit there, and it's not going to do anything for you. But with the complex carbs, it's gonna help your fiber. It's gonna help your proteins get processed within your gut, and it's gonna help things go through faster. I mean, easier, I should say, not faster, but easier.
Okay, another comment. I love bourbon, salmon, and sweet potato fries and broccoli. How much on a plate? Because at a restaurant, I try to get a to-go container and put a half in my meal. I need a healthy recipe for that.
Okay, well, I'm going to take note right now. Bourbon, salmon, and sweet potato fries and broccoli. I'm going to make that, and I'm going to send it to you guys. I'm going to, yeah, I'm going to do that one together because that sounds really good. I just actually did a bourbon smoked bourbon salmon for the holiday. It was really good.
So
Um,
they can look forward to that on your
yeah,
Instagram and your website.
Yeah, look forward to that. I'll get that one going for sure because I think that that is it's definitely that's the perfect meal for the protein flip because you got your protein, you got your salmon. You're not going to have again, and the biggest thing is like I don't eat like most of the time everybody says portion control and portion control and portion control. To me, I rephrase that to portion smart. Take responsibility of what their portions are and be smart about it. You don't have to, the control thing is what really is like a negative kind of tone to that whole thing. To me, it's like be portion smart. So we're looking at bourbon salmon. We're not going to have, 6 ounces. We're going to start off with 3 ounces. We're going to have some sweet potato fries, and then we're going to do some broccoli. Now, broccoli, we're not, we can boil it and we can like, whatever and make it very simple. But if you want to really do something fine, really nice, then we can roast the broccoli with let's say with some shallots and a little bit of like salt and a little bit of like garlic. Roast it there. Give it some interesting character and some texture, and it'll bring the whole dish together for sure. And so that's what I'm gonna do for you guys for sure.
So go check out his website. Guys, I'm posting Henry's links again. Again, these, if you're watching a replay, these will be in the description, whether you're watching on YouTube or Facebook or um, podcast or Very Connected podcast. Um, Chef Henry, your website, your YouTube channel, your Instagram, your TikTok, your free giveaway, and your
Yeah.
presentation for today's. Um, can you give us some closing thoughts? And also, Laura asked, is pink salt better?
Um, yeah, I think pink salt is a little better. It's not like, it's not like gonna change your world or anything like that, but there is a little bit like less sodium in there, and I feel like it's or I should say less iodized or whatever. It's more natural, is what I'm trying to say. So it is a little bit better, but at the same time, like if you enjoy different types of salts, have different types of salts in your kitchen. You don't have to give up, any kind of salt, but pink salt is definitely better. Yeah.
Okay. Closing thoughts.
Closing thoughts. Okay, so here's the deal. So I love cooking. I love the whole process and everything that all about food. Um, and to me, the biggest thing about cooking is being comfortable and being in the kitchen, being, not just accountable, but like being in the kitchen where you feel like you belong there, basically. You have some kind of like, whatever. So whether you're starting to cook, you don't want to cook, you don't like to cook, or you know how to cook, there are different stages. And I can get you there, get you where I can meet you where you're at and get you where you want to go. But at the same time, portion smart, obviously just we got to disperse our proteins for digestion. Digestion is the biggest part. Digestion is going to help is your guide to not regaining. I can tell you that right now that if you have good gut health and you have good digestion, you're always going to be filled. You're not going to be hungry all the time, and you're going to be filled. You're going to have a better. You're going to have more energy. And of course, movement. Always do something. I do stairs every day, but just stay get out there and walk. Like when I first had my bariatric surgery, I went down, I'm in San Diego. I went down to San Diego Zoo every morning. I walked that zoo. Just walking is what helped me lose all the weight, kind of thing. So, just keep moving. That's what you have to do.
Oh, love that. You're awesome. And we're looking forward to your salmon recipe. I will say, also, guys, I want to give a shout out to our sponsor, ProCare Health. ProCare Health is a vitamin supplement company. The website is procarenow.com. Guys, right now we have so many new products coming in. I am super excited. We have magnesium glycinate, we have hair, skin, and nails formulation that's equivalent to, some of these really high-end ones out on the market, like Nutrafil. We have, um, we have a new B12 cherry flavored melt. We have, gosh, what else do we have new? I mean, so many. Our branding is changing, our colors. We're going to more of a purple and blue color. And so you'll see a whole different look throughout the whole website, whole different feel. And our main goal is to support you guys, and that's why we do these presentations. We want to give you guys all the support. If you stay supported, you're going to stay on your program. You're going to be eating the right kinds of foods, taking the right supplements, you're going to be doing the right kinds of physical activity, you're going to have the right mindset, you're going to be staying in the game. And that's our goal, to help you long term for all of these things. So we want you guys to stay very connected. Join us with our replays. Chef Henry's replay will be available on our YouTube channel and our Very Connected podcast. Usually those go live the Tuesday following each of our events, so you can come back and watch this. If you watched live on Zoom, you should have a link which will actually get you to the Zoom replay, so you can come back and watch it again. His slides were available. I shared the link for that. So come back, look some more. Guys, I cannot say enough about his recipe book. So check out his recipe book. It's really inexpensive for what the time and energy that he put into this. I just want to thank you for all sharing your talents for the with this world and your passion. And I know it's been a long time project. I mean, guys, he's been working on this. I know you've been working in
Yeah.
some way on this for the time that I've known you.
Yeah, I have, and it's something that I like put a lot of work into, put a lot of time and effort and passion and everything that's in the book, whether it's the learning and whatever, the pictures, whatever, everything is my work. I mean, all like I said, I took all the photos, I did all the teachings and all the whatever, and putting all the lists together. Everything is basically I've done everything, and I put a lot of work into it. So it's something that I'm really proud of, obviously. But back to your support thing, we all have to support each other. We all have to be here because it's a community that keeps us going, right? And so I think that's super important. Yeah.
It certainly is.
And then
It's
the other
helped me on
thing,
my own journey. I'm sure it's helped you too. It's helped
yeah.
keep you where you are.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like yeah, the community always helps me. And if you go to my website, the sleeper of the quick guides is the grocery checklist. It's a grocery check test list, whatever kind of thing. That is the sleeper on the website. I would tell you, you go to the grocery store with that in your mind, you're gonna come out a lot more successful than with you don't have it. So I'm just want to let you know that.
Go and download that for sure, for sure. Well, thank you, Henry. And guys, take care. Have a most wonderful rest of your day, your rest of your week. Go out there and cook something new. Try something new. Get Chef Henry's book and try some new recipes. Then let us know. I personally would love for you to message me or message Henry. Um, in whatever way that that works. We're both on social media. We're both on out there doing these events. Let us know what you think. So we want to hear from you.
Yeah, for sure. And if you have questions on how to do something, whatever, I'm always available. Let me know. Like I said, send me your recipes, send me your questions, and sign up for coaching because you'll see if you're in coaching with me, you're gonna see like the passion goes right through your computer because I'm like all over it.
It does too. I've seen him in action many times.
Yes. All right. Good to
Thanks,
see you.
guys. Take care. Bye bye.
Bye.